Back here on the Cover 3 podcast, rolling along with our SEC win totals, tackling the first half of the alphabet, all the way from Alabama to LSU. And as we get to Georgia, we've got a win total at FanDuel Sportsbook where you can make every moment more of over under 10.5 wins. Pricing is, somewhat down the middle here. Danny, you want first crack at this? Or are we saying what's up?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it. We had that stat on here the last time they've lost to all these coaches, regular season SEC games. It's been since Tom Herman was at Texas that they've lost to a non-SEC coach and all this stuff. You know what else they've had? They've had one of the easier schedules the last 5 years as well, and including which Florida has been down. I know Tennessee has been better, but it's still a little bit bumpy. They've still had way more talent than them. Missouri, by the way, who's given them a handful a couple times as well at Mizzou. But it hasn't exactly been the toughest test. I am still bullish on Georgia, but I'm going under on the Bulldogs. New schedule is going to clip some people. I think it's going to take some time to get used to. Road games at Bama, at Texas, at Ole Miss. Can they sweep that? Can they go 2-1? Possibly. But I think they're going to get caught up to at one point, maybe slip up on another one. I'm going under.
I'm over here. I like that Georgia is very good at the premium positions. They seem to be really happy with what they have at edge rusher. I think they are on the very short list for best offensive line in the country. And Carson Beck is a pretty known commodity. I don't know if he's number one overall pick in the draft talented, but he's a guy that if he repeats what he did last year, I think there's a pretty good chance that Georgia has a first-round quarterback quarterbacking that team. They love it a lot. I think Colby Young was a really nice pull from Miami. And also FanDuel has the best price to go over in the market right now. So it's a very small edge for me. Again, not something I really want to put my money down for 100 days on, but I'm kind of over here.
I'm kind of over as well. And by kind of over, I mean 12-0.
Let's go.
Oh,
Georgia Pod, we're back.
Are you betting the undefeated price?
I will. Yeah, sure. I mean, I've got 12-0 is more likely than 10-2. So give me the over. I understand the schedule's tough. I get it. They have to play Alabama on the road, but it's a different Alabama. They have to play Texas on the road. But, other than that, Ole Miss on the road, okay, fine. But I'm still not going to sit here and say Ole Miss is some juggernaut that can beat Georgia, as we said a million times, until we see Ole Miss start winning those games. I think they are them and Ohio State. They're the two best teams in the country, and we're going to see it on a weekly basis. This is an NFL roster. Again, everywhere you look, there's NFL players. There's depth behind all of it. I think that they've got good receivers. I think the offensive line might be the best in the country. I think Oscar Delp is just going to blow people off the line of scrimmage all season long because he's the best blocking tight end Georgia's had in years. Trevor Etienne gives them a kind of game breaker at running back that they haven't had in recent years as they've been winning these national titles. I think Etienne can be that. I think Michael Williams is phenomenal, and he will be in the top pick in the NFL draft conversation by the time it's done. I think their linebackers are very good. I think their secondary is phenomenal. They're going to win every game they play. 12-0 over.
Let's go. I am also on the over. I am not going to give Ole Miss that win until I see Ole Miss win games like that. And I've got 10 certified wins for the Bulldogs, where 10-2 is the worst case scenario. I've got my toss-ups at Alabama, at Texas, and I think that they can split those. Win one, lose one. Maybe it's win in Tuscaloosa, fall in Austin. But I think that this is an 11-1 type season for the Bulldogs, even against a schedule that, yes, is going to be more difficult. If this thing goes sour, and I do not think it will, the depths for how sour it could get are 9-3? I mean, there's no way.
I think it's much wider.
Okay.
Because of the loss of Vandegrift to Kentucky, and if Beck gets hurt, they could go 7-5.
They could hand off their way to 9-3.
No.
No, I don't.
Jaden Rashada is going to walk out of that courtroom from Sue and Julie here and onto that field, and he can go get you Jaden Rashada can go get you more wins than 7-5.
Gunnar Stockton too. I don't even know if Rashad is number 2 on that depth chart.
Oh yeah, that's true. Gunnar Stockton probably is number 2. But
If you didn't have Beck, I mean, you're a dog at Bama. Auburn becomes losable. You're a dog at Texas. Florida could beat you without Beck. You're a dog at Ole Miss. Tennessee's very, very losable without Beck. And I mean, Georgia Tech gave him trouble last year.
So Georgia Tech and Alabama, there were a couple of teams at the end of last season that were able to push Georgia around a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll be looking at that. I'll say, like, if we're going to nitpick Georgia, like you said, Tom, Georgia and Ohio State, they're going to be winning all of their games, and then we're going to show up on Saturday night, and I'm going to be like, hold on, buddy. I got a whole list of complaints right here. Let me tell you.
Yep.
I'm not trying to take away anything that Georgia Tech did in that game, but I feel like that was Georgia Tech's Super Bowl, whereas for Georgia, that was a game they just had to get through before the SEC championship. I
agree. I am nitpicking. I'm just saying that when they had, Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis in there, it didn't matter whether it was someone else's Super Bowl or whether someone else had the superstar from Mario Brothers. You just weren't moving them. So if we are looking, that's where interior defensive line, I got my eye on you.
Slander.
Count them up.